projects and the business at hand. We pray, God, for discernment. We pray for wisdom. And we pray for unity, for the betterment of this community, of this county, of the work that needs to be done. We pray for all those sitting in these seats today as they listen, as they bring business before the council. And we pray, God, for a blessing upon the people. This we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you very much. I call this meeting of the Fayette County Commissioners to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll move to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Since the absence of Mr. Naylor, I'll second that motion. We have two sets of minutes from the special meeting and the regular meeting.
I'll do both sets.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
2 ayes. Mr. Parker, better known as Dan.
Good morning, Commissioner King and my good friend, Mr. Nobby. Commissioner, I want to just give a short report. It's not very long. I want to congratulate those that participated yesterday in our national event with the elections. Certainly want to congratulate the new commissioner and those new members of the county council. I look forward to working with them in the future. The concerning attraction, I cannot talk publicly about the work in progress with what looks to be, if everything goes right, a pretty significant attraction, but I'll be glad to discuss it with either one of you privately at another time. Just to pique everyone's curiosity. I'll be glad to discuss it with you privately, but I can't do it publicly at this time. Last thing I'd like to mention and report to you is about a meeting or two ago, I mentioned the urban enterprise zone and what a benefit it is to the residents and businesses that are within the enterprise zone. Since we had that discussion here in this meeting, and thank you to the Connersville News Examiner for the coverage, there's been an outpouring of zone residents and zone businesses that have come to us with inquiries, phone calls, and some applications for grant monies since we had that discussion here in this meeting. So I appreciate the questions and the dialogue back and forth because it's going to end up blessing some of the residents and businesses that are within the zone. That's really all I have this morning, Commissioners, unless you have any questions for me.
No, but I'm glad that we got some results on the Urban Enterprise Association, and good news.
Yeah, much of that is due to you and your questions that you asked me, which caused me to elaborate, and that in turn caused the people who view this and who read the paper to just say, hey, there may be something here for me. So anyway, thank you very much, and thank you for your support. I appreciate it.
And thank you.
I have another meeting to go to, so I'm going to excuse myself.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
He's not going to have a good day if he's got another meeting to go to.
We could try.
Well, maybe a fun meeting, who knows. Anyway, next on the agenda is Mr. Sudoff.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a change order for the community crossings project, the paving project we did on Alpina Road, the Harrisburg area roads.
Yes.
You both have a copy, I think, or did you get yours? It was in your box.
Yes, I think you gave me one the other day.
Anyways, this is for the underruns and overruns for the paving project. And we came pretty close to the bid amount. The revised project amount is Well, let's say the awarded project amount is $1,062,847, and a change order amount is over that by $1,646.15 for a total of $1,064,493.15. And of that, about $797,000 was state funded, or 75%.
So we got almost $100,000 worth of road improvements in Fayette County, with the state paying over $700,000 of that money.
Almost 800,000, yeah.
Almost 800,000. That's good news for our county. And for those that are complaining about our infrastructure, this community crossing grant has just provided a great blessing to Fayette County, and lots of smooth roads that we're out there driving on now, where they were bumpy and full of holes and lots of pothole patches and whatever. And now they're smooth as silk, which is causing people to drive too fast on some of them. Please be careful and not run over children on bicycles. And
Watch out for the buggies too.
oh yes, and we have Amish that moved into Fayette County. So if you're down in the southern part of the county, watch out for buggies. Just don't be flying around on those highways. They aren't highways, they're county roads. And we have people that are moving slow. We have people on horses and people driving buggies with horses. So just be careful. But we're really thankful for the money. Thank you, Warren. Good job.
Now, I hope we get a new award for next year,
Yes,
but they should announce it this month, I think. And then,
hopefully.
yeah, we've applied for, was it September 28th, we applied for 4 projects. If it be like this year, they may give us half of them, or hopefully, or, you know, we'll see.
Well, I know that what we did last year, my cousins live out in southern Wayne County, and he said they lived there, I don't remember how many years, about 20, and said nothing had ever been done to that Waterloo Road area in the time they lived there. They were very pleased with the improvement. A lot easier to get to Connersville with the road smoothed out there,
Okay.
so.
I haven't got Milestone to sign off on this change order yet, but I'm expecting every day. I submitted a claim, should be in the day's docket for the
Okay.
final claim.
Very good. You need a motion to approve this amount?
Yeah, I could have a
I'll
signature.
move to approve the amount of the,
Community Crossings Grant.
community
Change order.
crossing grant. I'll move to approve that.
Mark has moved to approve the change order for $1,646.15 for the Community Crossings Grant. And I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
2 ayes.
Okay, Bridge 25, west of Harrisburg.
Yes.
There's a couple trees that are off the right of way, but they're leaning, they're big sycamore trees. One's 24-inch diameter, one's 18-inch, right next to each other south of the bridge.
Uh-oh.
And they're leaning over the bridge, the new bridge. And I got a quote. I sent out 4 letters, asked for quotes from tree trimmers, and I got one back for $1,800 for Gary Reese. And he did originally cleared out the trees.
Okay.
So I haven't got the paperwork from the property owner yet, but as far as permission to come down, but he was agreeable verbally, so I
Okay.
guess I'll have to go in and get his paperwork.
Autograph.
But anyways, I'd like to go ahead and have this one quote accepted so we can get it done. Before they put up the electric lines, they gotta put them back after.
Okay. That was $1,804.
1,800 even, $1,800.
I'll move to approve the $1,800 for the removal of the trees for Bridge 25.
I second that. We certainly don't want a tree falling on our new bridge.
Yeah, and as you see, the water's coming around
Oh.
past the bridge and hits right there at the trees.
Washing the roots out,
I would say so,
that
eventually.
would not be a good plan.
So you can probably see it this afternoon when we go out to the bridge.
We need to
So
vote.
we'll second that motion. Both in favor, say aye.
Aye.
2 ayes.
Well, that's all I have.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's not long time yet to go, Warren.
Okay.
Michael King.
Morning. You got my monthly report there in front of you. As you can see, we've gone up almost 30 or 35% on how much email we're getting in each month. We had 312,000 total messages, and where we had been before was around 200,000. So we had quite a bit. And I don't know if that uptick is due to, I know some of it was the election traffic because the way the state had set up the system so that when somebody logged in to do the early election stuff, it would send them a confirmation code to log in with. And you're talking every 10 minutes or so, if they got logged out, they're doing another couple of those. So that was part of it, but I don't think that's a significant portion. As you can see, I had 89 city tickets in 134 county, and then 154 for me and 69 for Mike. A lot of the tickets we had this month were longer tickets. It's going to lead into why one of the things I would like to get your blessing on. I don't really need approval for the software I'm going to get, but I would like to make sure that everybody's on board with it. The thing I do need to get approved, first thing, the Macrium server bundle that I've got there, to cover 5 servers, it's $925. Individual standalone licenses for that software is $275 a piece, so it does work out better than buying them individually. And what this software will allow us to do is take a full backup of the servers, and that's not just the software or the data, but the Windows installation, the settings files, everything, so that if we do have a catastrophic hard drive failure, that we can recover from that by restoring that backup to new drives. And then we can take that, put the data back on from that.
I'll move to approve the server bundle for $925.
I'll second that. Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next thing is the quotes for the highway cameras. I had asked for another company to come in and give us a quote. They never showed up. So we're pretty much the same place we were last meeting, where we had CEI's quote that included the cameras, the labor, the whole spiel, everything. Their total was $5,800.73 and 8 cents. The other quote was from Corson. They just quoted the cameras themselves and the surveillance hard drive. They came in at $21.95. For the actual hardware, there's not much difference between the two as far as cost. It's just CEI included the labor, which is just one line item of $2,800 to get everything set up. And Angie does say they have the money out there for that. So I don't think they're going to have to do additional appropriation or anything. So,
Okay.
Oh, this is from CEI?
here in town.
Okay, I'll move to approve the CEI bid for $5,873.08.
I'll second that bid. All moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
2 ayes.
Okay, the final thing that I would like to get your blessing on, this last 3 weeks, I've had a lot of tickets where I've been over at the city for 2 hours working on something, or utilities for 2 or 3 hours, working at an extended time on one thing at one location. And I've been looking at this software called Remote PC that will allow me to remotely connect to somebody's computer if their internet's working, so that I can either work directly on the computer and control it myself, or at least see what they're seeing so that I can try to help them over the phone. For 200 computers, which we're over the 100 computer mark, it is only $74.95 for the first year, but it's $749 for the second year. So it's below the actual limit that I need approval on, but I would like to make sure that everybody's okay and doesn't see a problem with that. I didn't want anybody to think I was trying to skirt the rule or anything, since it's right there at the edge. for that second year. But I think it'll save a lot of time and make it so that we can more reliably and quickly help somebody. I was at utilities for 2 hours, it's been about a week and a half ago, logged into Jackie Pennington's computer at CPD, got her problem fixed without having to leave utilities. Plus the fact that I live in Rushville, so if somebody calls and I can, it's after hours and I'm at home, if I can fix it from Rushville without driving over here, it'll save everybody time. They're not waiting for me to get there just to fix a problem that I could have fixed from there. So,
Well, then that's like remote
Yeah,
approval?
remote control.
I'll move to approve that.
Okay, I'll second that. Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 As I said, early elections and elections went well. We didn't have any problems with the computers other than the state side of things. I am working on a new web page design with John Pawsey. Currently, we pay between the city and county, we pay $1,000 total, so $500 for each of us for web hosting every year. And the design is the same one that we've used since I started 4.5 years ago. So we're trying to update that with a software that I have to make it easier for us to change, make it more up-to-date look-wise, and also to save us some of that $1,000. And that's not something that I need approval on, that's just an FYI. And then the final thing is Duke contacted us Monday. They are going to be doing some wiring outside the corrections and annex and jail. So when they do this, it will take the power down at those locations for, we were told about 2 hours at corrections. Jail obviously has a generator, so they'll only be down for a couple seconds while the generator takes on. And then the annex, they said it'd be down 2 to 3 hours. They weren't really sure, but somewhere around then for the work that they needed. So that's all I have. Any questions or anything for me?
No. Thank you very much.
Off to the next craziness.
I'm going to recess this meeting for about 5 minutes until Mr. Harvey can get back. He had an emergency phone call he had to take, so we'll just wait on him to return. I call it recess. Call this meeting back to order.
Cows, and he said, put them back up.
Oh, mercy. Why don't we press this emergency? David Baker.
Good morning. I'm here for approval of the hiring of a part-time employee. Her name is Janet Faber. She would be a part-time evening employee.
Very good. Glad you're getting employees.
I'll move to approve the 144 for Janet Baker.
I'll second that approval. Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
2 ayes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You don't want much when you come.
He just wants more people to work for him. He doesn't have the money. That's good. We like employees. Michelle Dudley.
Yeah, I got a picture of a truck in the ditch there.
How you doing? Were you kidding?
Yeah, I offered to preach one night.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
I need to get two names there approved for part-time employment. The first one is Mr. Creech, and I've offered him employment. The other one that I gave you, I still need to, I'm gonna interview him this week, and they'd be for part-time. I just need approval on the names there.
okay.
I'll move to approve the 144 for Jacob Leach and was it Thomas? Tom? I'll move to approve the 144 for him.
Okay, I'll second that approval. Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
2 ayes.
Thank you. The other issue, I have an opening on the advisory board. It's a statutory opening for a physician or mental health professional. And Dr. Nesbitt was on my board and he recently passed, so I need to fill that position. And I've talked to nurse practitioner Jennifer Counselor, and she's agreed to accept that, but it does need commissioner's approval.
I'll move to approve Mrs. Counselor's place on the advisory board.
I'll second that. Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Dr. Nesbitt has been a great loss to our community, and I know that we want to express sympathy to the family. He was my personal doctor and just a great guy, just a great guy. And it's a big loss to Fayette County. Dale Nutt? Munson?
I'm here to ask permission, if you would, to rescind a resolution 2018-R-2. And we have, at the unit, have come up with another location, if everything works out, that we can possibly move, but this is kind of hindering the movement forward with our movement. And so I'm here to ask for permission for you to rescind that resolution.
Since there are only 2 of us here, we're going to take this under advisement and put it off till the next meeting, because I feel like Gary needs to be aware of this.
Yeah.
I know that I voted against this to start with, because I had Jane look up the time, and it was February 6th that this was done. And we just need to have all 3
All three of
commissioners
us on
before we make any decisions on this.
And that be next Tuesday, or a week from
No,
Tuesday?
2 weeks.
Okay.
Yesterday was the 6th, so 14 days be the 20th.
Okay,
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dave. Do we have any mail, Jane?
No.
Do we have any old business? Don't see any. New business, Jim Reese.
Morning, folks. I'm here for Bridge 25. I'm trying to close this thing out. I've got a change order for a couple of items that we had to add material for. One of them is in regard, comes along the lines of the tree that he was speaking of. When the bridge was originally designed, it showed that the stream was in span 2. When we go out there to build it, it actually moved over to span 1 and was cutting into the bank pretty bad. So we ended up adding additional class 1 riprap to try and get this, and we've got it channeled back over to span 2 at this point, but to keep the erosion down from causing future damage to the end bent and all, this was necessary. And then the other item would be the barrel, that when Caitlin had designed it, it was through no fault of hers, but she had designed it for us to use some of the spoils from the old bridge, which I think you're aware of how that works, Steve. But use the spoils. The spoils from the old bridge was unsuitable. I don't know what they used back then, but it was unlike anything I had seen. But we had to overrun that item significantly. So therefore, this change order that I've got today is for $64,000 to cover those two items. $64,503.25 to be exact. And I need to get this change order signed so that I can proceed with closing out the contract.
I have a question to ask you, Jim.
Yes,
Do we still get our percentage of federal funds?
this is non-participating,
That
but,
just comes out
but
of our
I,
bridge fund?
but I will say that they have worked with us, NDOT has worked with us, and they have allowed us to use anything left from the existing contract toward this amount. So without having the exact numbers right now during the closeout, it looks like $2,000 to $3,000 will be knocked off of this because we'll be able to use remaining funds from the bridge. But as far as any change orders or overruns on the project, they are non-participating for the feds, so therefore the county would be responsible for.
Well, the good news is that they agreed to 80% of the total initial
Yes,
contract. And they started out with us paying $400,000, and $64,000 sounds a lot better than $400,000 something to me.
yeah. And you don't want to mess too much with this. This is a select bridge, and you don't want
Yes.
to mess too much
No.
with them. So feel fortunate that we got that much out of them. So.
I'm just real thankful. It took a lot of work and a lot of phone calls, but they finally agreed to help us out. And appreciate that, and appreciate the work you've done, Jim.
Well, thank you.
You've been super helpful in keeping everything going, and need a motion to approve that.
I'll move to approve the change order for Bridge 25 for $64,503.25.
I'll second that. Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bridge, you do have money in your bridge fund, don't you?
Yeah, we have enough
Good.
left to pay for that.
Very good. And we're having a ribbon cutting on this wonderful select bridge that I've been fighting with the state from the day I took this job. So it's good news.
I did not have Jay on the agenda because at the time I did the agendas, we didn't have him yet, but he's here. I didn't know if you wanted to call him.
Hmm?
I didn't know if you wanted to call him, Jay.
Jay, you have something you need to talk to us about?
No, I just come up to listen in.
Very good.
I haven't got back into it down there yet, so
Well-
maybe next meeting.
Our highway supervisor resigned, and Jay Havlin was gracious enough to step back in and take the job temporarily until we can find somebody, because you can't find a highway supervisor in 2 weeks, even though the other gentleman gave us notice and all that. It's just something a little tough to cover. Thank you very much, Jay, for that job. Duke Energy.
Morning.
Good morning.
My name is Kevin Maxwell. I'm with BSM Groups. We're doing a design and engineering project for Duke Energy. They are going to be tying the rest of their offices and their substations together with fiber optic so that they can monitor it and help prevent outages. Maybe they can get there a little quicker. That will involve placing a fiber optic cable all the way through your county. And basically, we're coming from Oxford, Ohio, all the way through Union and through Fayette, through Henry, Hancock, and we'll end up over in Plainfield, Indiana, is where we'll end up this year. So that all the construction.
Can that fiber optic cable be used for internet?
It could be. It could be. Right now, it's just privately owned by Duke that they want to use it for, for their purposes. It very well, they might in the future lease that out to do a statewide link of internet or something like that, or other fiber companies such as Comcast could lease into that to link from their office in Indianapolis to here to get a better service to here if they needed it. I'm not sure who needs it. So, but right now they want to mainly just keep it for themselves.
How many fibers is in this cable?
On this cable, it's going to be 288 fibers. That's a lot. But the technology today is that's a small cable in size for that. They are going to want to put in 5 interducts, which does allow for future use. So that way, whatever they put in, somebody could come back in, buy, or lease a duct from them at some time in the future. So they're kind of planning for that. They're not just putting one in and saying that's enough. But right now, their goal is to get all their offices, all their little substations, and they got a bunch of monitoring stations that they use on their transmission stuff. They want to get those hooked in so that they can just better monitor what they have going on.
Now, is this all gonna be buried?
Every bit of it, yeah. They don't want any of it on their power lines. That was a consideration they thought about, but it's costing them a lot of money to put it underground, but it's a lot safer. So that way they know it's protected from weather, although, people could cut it.
They're gonna be responsible for the damages they do for like field tile.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, their contractor is bonded with them and insured through them. They will take care of it, yes. So if any issues come up, they can contact me or they can contact Duke directly and we can get it taken care of. So that's the toughest part, is the county tiles. That's the tough part. So
Well, I'd say it's okay with me if it's okay with our surveyor.
Warren? Do you have any questions or objections to?
I haven't seen the plans, so I'll get send a copy.
I have a set with me today that I can leave with you.
We have a set on Jane's desk too.
Yep, yeah, we left the set with her. When we first dropped them off with Jane, we had the set ready that basically went from Connorsville to Newcastle. I've got the rest of those plans today that basically go from here over to Union County. So I've got those with me today to drop off.
Okay.
Our main question would be, the normal practice would be that we either directional bore, which is a method, or we could plow, whichever is preferred. If you would like to plow because that's a little faster, but that is a call for the county to make, whether we're allowed to plow that cable in or not. We don't do any trenching anymore because it's too messy.
I'd rather see him bore it myself. I'd rather see him bore it myself.
Okay, it's just it's a question that we ask. Just it doesn't matter to us. So
Okay. Well, I don't know enough about it to tell you one way or the other, so I'll take Mark's word for it.
We'll leave it up to the surveyor, just work with him with it, and we'll approve it.
right. I appreciate it. Like I say, any questions or anything, feel free to ask us.
Well, we're very happy when utilities are upgrading the service to our county.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, I don't see any reason why they would never not allow somebody to use it to upgrade their services, such as a Comcast or a MetroNet or somebody like that, to allow them to use that duct package for their service.
Through the Economic Development Group, we already have a group of people and a committee to try to get internet throughout the county.
Mhm.
And it's one of the improvements that we're trying to look for. So I thought this might be a really good chance for that to happen.
Yeah, like I say, I'm sure they would be open to it. Duke Energy is a pretty big company where they like to venture into other things. So it's something that they could lease out or, provide service to certain areas or pockets of the county for that to happen. That's definitely, it's usable. The fiber is the same for that versus whatever they're using it for.
Well, that's good news all the way around.
Right.
Mark's made a motion.
I'll move to approve the boring of the fiber optics with the approval of the surveyor.
I'll second that. So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
2 ayes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the service they provide to this community.
Yes.
My power's never been down very long at any one time, and I appreciate that. Roberta Nichols.
I don't believe she's here, but what we need to, is a release of a deed from a deed restriction. It was a grant where they paid for some repairs to the home, and so they put a restriction on that deed for 3 years. And then once that 3 years has expired, we just have to release the deed restriction.
Legal briefs.
Okay. I'm going to read this.
Step going down.
Comes now Jane Downard, Auditor of Fayette County, Indiana, and certifies that the terms of a certain Indiana Housing and Community Development Deed Restriction Agreement executed by Roberta Nichols to Fayette County, Indiana on August 13, 2015, and recorded as instrument number 201500002321 on August 14, 2015, in the Office of Fayette County Recorder, Fayette County, Indiana, have been fully satisfied based upon the residency requirement of 3 years from the date of August 14th, and on the 14th day of August 14th, 2018, and that as a result, such deed restriction agreement is hereby duly released this 7th day of November 2018.
I'll move to approve the release of the deed to Roberta Nichols.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
2 ayes. The deed's been released, and this has to have Jane's signature and a notary public. So I'll send that back to you. Wellness premium discount.
Surveyor's office.
Our county employees, our health program, we decided last year if they would go get a physical, that we would give them a discount on their insurance. Well, last year we did it percentage-wide on each employee. And we found out because of ACA, the Affordable Care Act, there's a regulation that it has to be equal. We can't do it percentage-wise, where we were giving a discount to the family, on a family plan or on an individual plan, and et cetera. So it has to be even, but only the employee gets the discount. So, Jane, I forget, what is the amount we're doing now? $65?
Yes.
So it's per insurance account. So if they have a family plan, the $65 is winding up, some of our employees are paying like $50 more or better. So we want to increase that $65 amount to $90. Because some of our employees don't make a lot of money, and if some of them's gonna be having a lot cheaper insurance than they were, and they'll have a discount in their premiums. But the people that have a family or a spouse and the employee on the program, it's a lot more expensive for them. And so we can only give the discount per the one person having the wellness. So would like to move for a $90 discount per employee who has the insurance.
I'll make a motion to that effect.
Okay, it's been moved. I second. Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Approval of claims and payroll.
I'll move to approve the claims and payroll.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Been moved. 2 ayes. I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second that. 2 ayes. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.